Good day, welcome back to Khmer Green. Today we have a few premium fig variety to try out. These three are CdD Noir. This guy is not fully ripe. I just want to pick and cut it open because it's not gonna be any good. But just want to see what it look like inside. And the other one, this seem to be a reasonable ripeness. It's not a perfect ripeness because now it's late in the season. It get cold every night and no more hot or warm day anymore. But this seems to be ripening, but I cannot say anything just yet until we cut open. And for another CdD Noir, it kind of the bottom is kind of ripe, turning very dark and nicely cracked, but on top it's still very hot. This one is black madeira. It comes from a tree that stay outside, get all the rain and cold and windy, all those stuff, but it still managed to ripe one of this guy. It does not look dark at all because it's getting cold, not a lot of sunlight anymore, and it's still very green. But I'm curious how it look like inside because it's quite soft. Might be taste something good. These two also black madeira. This one is split open like anything, but again I just want to cut it open because I just want to see how it look or if any tastes good or tastes okay, because first time really want to know or really want to find out. These two come from this guy and another guy down here. I bring it inside the house, put at the windowsill, but maybe because inside the house it's so humidity is so high, that's why it split open the moment it start to swell. For another black madeira that I bring the tree inside the house, it also split open also. This one is breaking hard, right? But when it split, I still left it hanging and it seemed to ripening, and it doesn't look spoiled because maybe inside the house there's no rain or a mist that can get inside there. It does have a high humidity, but it seems fine. It's very dry out. Let's see if any good. And for the last piece, this one is, I'm so excited to see this one ripe because it's one of the most beautiful figs. It's very good looking, and I heard that it also have a great tasting. And this one have a drop of honey coming out. And this one is same thing. I bring the tree inside the house, and as a result, it split open just like the previous one, black madeira. But again, it seemed to be underripe a little bit because it's splitting, so I pick it early. I don't know if it keep ripening or it going to spoil. So just try it out. If it doesn't work, find out next one. But this one is very beautiful fig, on my wish list for a long time. Alright, first fruit, this one is just to wake it, but we're not gonna eat it. 16 gram, seem to be the smallest one. Next CdD is a more reasonable one. It seem to be the perfectly ripe, or at least the most ripeness among the fruit that we have today. 29 grams. And the last one, a little bigger, have nice crack also. 33 gram. Now for black madeira from the outside tree, 28 grams. Another black madeira come from the tree that I bring in the house, 30 grams. And another fruit that also black madeira, dry out a little bit, 32 grams. And last but not least is Bordissot Negra Rimada, 49 grams. Heavy guy, beautiful, good size, perfect. Alright, let's start with the smallest guy. This one is CdD Noir. Just to cut open, look inside, what is it look like. It definitely not ripe, but the pulp it look very red. Imagine if it were fully ripe, it would be a very good fig. wait for next season. Next one is also underripe, but the biggest one, and it look nicely cracked. Let's cut open if anything we can do. This one is a bit more ripe, but it's still underripe. Down on the bottom part here, it seems to be a little ripe. Maybe I try to bite into that part and see if any flavor there. Well, that was edible, but it's no flavor, very bland. Now the last Cordon Noir that seems to be the most ripe among of those. Wow, look at the colors. It's deep dark, and imagine if it ripening in the middle of the peak season. It would be way better than this one. Now move on to Black Madeira. This one, the tree that I left outside. It ripening while it's still very cold. Not super dark, only a down part. So let's cut open if it probably ripe or not yet. For the post, it's very dark red, look very charming, but it's not probably ripe. Now move on to Black Madeira that come from the tree that I bring inside the house. This one is less ripe. Let's cut open. Wow, this one is not as dark red as the previous one, but the pulp look very charming also, and it seems to be a very good fig. If it's not splitting, it would be one of the best. Alright, now move on to the last Black Madeira. This one seems to be the most ripe among all the fruit that I show here. So let's cut open. Finally, I think this one is gonna be the one. It seems to be ripening just fine. Look at the goodness, yummy, gooey looking. I think this one is going to taste good, but cannot say anything just yet. Finally, the most beautiful Bordissot Negra Rimada. This one have honey drop from the eye, maybe an indicator of a syrupy charminess. Let's cut open. Wow, look at this. This must be the best looking fig I have so far. This must be the most beautiful fig from inside out. The pulp, it looks super charming. Despite it's still not fully ripe yet, it's not perfectly ripe. I pick it a bit underripe because it's split, so I don't want to let it hang any longer. So I try to pick it, and boy, I think I make the right decision. Alright, now come to the best part, tasting. I managed to pick one of a fruit from each variety that best looking. Let's start with Cordon Noir first. For Cordon Noir, it's very rich, very charming, but sweetness is very light, almost nothing. Since the outside temperature is so cool, so it's not surprised that it's not that sweet. And anyway, the Cordon family is not well known for sweetness, but it's well known for its richness, and it still hold true despite late in the season and not really fully ripe. This one seems to be a very good variety. Maybe I'm trying to do something for next season to get it ripe faster. Maybe pinching, or let's see. Next, let's move on with the Black Madeira, the queen of the figs. For Black Madeira, it's very charming and kind of juicy also. It's not syrupy but charming. But for the flavor wise, it's kind of mild and sweetness. It's very light again because it's late in the season, and the one that I picked from this tree, I forgot to water it for a few days and it lost or dropped all of most of its leaf. So I think that factor to the quality of the fruits. But I also put stress on the lateness of the season. Alright, now the last one, absolutely not the least, Bordissot Negra Rimada. the most beautiful. Again and again, I'm saying like a 10 times already, but it really is a nice looking one. Wow, for Bordissot Negra Rimada, it not just look good, it also tastes good. It's not jammy, surprisingly, it kind of juicy and refreshing with a nice berry flavor, and also for the sweetness, it a bit more than the rest of the fruit that I taste today. That kind of surprising because again it late in the season already, and I pick it early, so if it perfectly ripe, I imagine it will be a very nice and sweet and juicy and jammy, syrupy goodness. Look at the honey coming out. This one is a must-have. If you can afford it, go for it. Alright everybody, I hope you like it, and hopefully you start grow your own fig too, because it's really a very good fruit. So I see you next video. Bye bye.